everybody, it's Stoney, and I hope you're doing okay. I'm up here on Brushy Mountain Road. I'm going to go up to Wilkesboro, get me a cup of coffee. Where else would I be going to get coffee? Anyway, I want to give you a little update on my new Honda NT 1100, and just passed over 300 miles. Break-in is at 600. And then I'm going to do the oil change, filter, and all that good stuff. So I'll be doing that. But yeah, I got my Hepco and Becker top case installed. And all I had to have was this metal plate, this adapter plate for the Easy Rack, which I got from Moto Machines in Sterling, Virginia. And they were nice enough just to sell me the adapter plate and not the whole rack. The whole rack was like $300. But anyway, so far so good on this here motorcycle. So figured I would stop, put my camera on, and I'm on a little slope. And yeah, I want to give you some of my first impressions on this bike, and which are all good. Nothing's perfect, but I'm going to raise this up just a little bit, keep some of the wind down. So far, I really like it. And something else I want to mention too is that, yeah, I just passed the 300 mile mark. On my first tank of gas, I got 52 miles a gallon, and it went 250 miles. It went 239 before the light came on. And when I filled up, it was exactly 250 miles. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, this is telling me I've gone 87.3 miles. Average fuel consumption is 53.8 miles to gallon. Average speed 51. And I have consumed 1.6 gallons of gas. Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, to get it going, hit D. I like Sport 2 mode, which is what I have it set on, and for me, I think that works the best, and you just give it some throttle and go. Yeah, so far I really like it. Now, no bike's perfect. Every motorcycle is a compromise. And by the way, this is an awesome little road. This is the very long way up to Wilkesboro. But it just, I wish I would have put the camera on sooner, because this is not the best part of the road. Anyway, yeah, I'm very surprised at this bike. I'm surprised at how quick it is. It's a parallel twin, a little over 100 horsepower. I think it's got like 85 foot-pounds of torque. I think that's what it is. Very torquey motor. I'm surprised at the get up and go that it has. It's got a nice sound to it. It is a 2-cylinder parallel twin. It has a 270 firing order, which gives it that nice, it's V-twin like in the sound. It's got a great sound. And let me tell you a little bit about the DCT. As I was saying before, I'm really surprised at how well this thing shifts up and down, and how it senses, I guess, your speed. They did put a 6-axis IMU in it, I think, for 2025. And what that does, it measures your lean angle. It takes all kinds of data from lean angle, I guess, throttle position, braking, and makes decisions based on all that input. And I will tell you, most of the time, it makes excellent decisions. There's only a few times when I kind of scratch my head wondering, well, why did it shift there, or why did it not shift there? Now, if you see these P, E, B, and T on the screen there, That's power, engine braking, and traction control. One thing I was a little concerned about, oh, and you can set those. You can customize those. You can even set up 2 user modes for however you want to adjust those. I really haven't messed with them. The only thing I did was turn the engine braking up a little bit. I'm just really surprised at how well it brakes going downhill. You can see right there, it just shifted down to 4th because I applied the brakes, and yeah, here it shifted to 3. I mean, it shifts exactly the way that I would shift if I were riding a manual transmission bike. So if you haven't ridden one of these and you're skeptical about the DCT, keep in mind that this is a 6-speed transmission. The bike shifts, but it just does it for you. And it's called the DCT because it stands for dual clutch transmission. I don't know all the technicalities, but I will tell you that it has 2 clutches. One clutch controls gears 1, 3, and 5, and the second clutch controls 2, 4, and 6. So you can see right here, it's giving me engine braking, which is what I would be doing. It doesn't freewheel. Now, you can set it up, I think. Well, you can set it up for less engine braking where it will freewheel. But even coming downhill there, I didn't even tip my brakes. Now I will here, a little braking, and it shifted down to 3rd. So yeah, it makes very good decisions. I don't know how it does it. I guess some little computer in there. But the bike sounds good. It is deceptively quick. Now I haven't wrung its neck because it's still in the break-in period, but it will get up and go. Down there is Wilkesboro, if you could catch a glimpse of it. Some of the things I don't like, it's a little annoying, I guess, or I just wonder why Honda did it. You know, I've got most of the switches figured out on this thing. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was. I don't use all these buttons anyway. There's only certain things that I do as far as the menus go. One thing that this bike has, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and if you want to listen to music through your headset, I think it connects to Sena headsets, Cardo, I think all the popular brands. But you can use some of these buttons here to change tracks, volume, and all that stuff. So it's not quite as complicated as what it appears to be at first. I took the manual and figured out what the main buttons were and was able to navigate it relatively well. I don't like where the cruise control is on this side over here. I don't like that at all. It's not intuitive. It should be on this switch, this left handlebar. But look at it. Where the heck would you put it? I just think Honda should rethink this a little bit. And again, it's not a deal breaker for me. It seems complicated, but it's really not. Once you figure what the buttons do, and it actually works pretty well. This is also a touchscreen, but you can't use it while the bike's in gear. So yeah, I don't like the cruise control over here. It is very hard for me to try to reach down and hold the throttle. To turn it on, the button you just turn it on, it doesn't do anything. But then you got to hold the throttle and work the set switch. You know, either resume or set. Now, once you're underway, to tap it up and tap it down to change your speed. Of course, that's just like any other cruise control. But I do wish it was over here. What I've been doing is I just reach over and turn it on, and hold my hold the speed with the throttle and then just hit the set button. I just do it like that. Probably not the safest, but you know, I've mentioned this a million times. You're probably sick of hearing it, but I've got arthritis in my hands, and it's really hard for me to get my thumb down there and hold the throttle. Probably if you're younger and you don't have arthritis and the bigger hands, you probably do it fine. But and again, it's not a deal breaker. It's not that big a deal. The Tigers was over here, and I really liked that. But it was on top of the switch box, so you had to take your hand off the grip and manipulate it. So these newer bikes with all this electronic stuff, they're getting so complicated that I guess you only have so much real estate up here to put switches and buttons. And I guess they do the best they can. But and even some of these buttons are multi-function, so I haven't counted. I think there's 17 or 18 buttons on this side, buttons and switches, and then you got 5 or 6 on this side, and there's some behind here and behind here. So, but it's the ones that you use the most are pretty easily accessible, except for that cruise control. The other thing too that I've noticed about this bike, especially coming up here, I was on a very twisty road, is this bike has a 17-inch front wheel, and my Tiger had a 19-inch front wheel, and the Tiger handled extremely well. I think this bike handles a little better. It turns in better. It has a wider profile front tire. It's a 120 where the Tiger was a 100, so you got a bigger contact patch. The 17-inch on both ends of this bike, the Tiger was 17 and 19. I just feel more confident in the curves on this bike. I feel like I can ride this bike faster in a curve than I could the Tiger. It's probably psychological, I'm sure, but that Tiger had that skinny front wheel, and in the back of my mind, I don't know, I always thought about that when I was riding it aggressively on the curvy road. This one, I don't even think about it. It turns in quicker, and it just feels a little more planted, if that makes sense. I'm not a professional I'm not a professional reviewer or rider, but all this refers to me and my style of riding. So far, I'm really happy with the bike. I'm happy with the gas mileage. I'm happy with the comfort. This bike is wide right here. It weighs about 25 pounds more than the Tiger, but it doesn't feel like it. Getting it off its stand. The Tiger sat a little taller, and I think that's why it felt heavier. This one is a little lower to the ground, which I like. I'm not tall. I can get both feet flat on the ground. And it's a little easier to move around in the garage, even though it weighs about 25 to 30 pounds more. And a lot of it has to do, I'm sure, with the lower suspension, which gives it a lower center of gravity. But I just feel more confident just even moving it around in the garage. The windscreen, I like it. I read the forums a lot, and everybody's complaining about the windscreen. I have no problem with it whatsoever. It's got a 5-position adjustment. I've got it up high now because I want to keep the wind noise down doing a vlog, but I usually have it 2 notches below the top, which would be I guess the center position, right? These little winglet things that you see seem kind of goofy when I first saw it, and I actually thought about taking them off, but these things keep the wind off your hands, and they actually work pretty well. I'm surprised how well they work. Because I thought, well, I'll have to put hand guards on it. I don't think I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm almost in Wilkesboro. You can see the mountains up through there. Man, it's pretty. It's a little hazy, I guess, from that Canadian forest fire. I reckon. I'm not. I think they said some of that smoke was coming down this way, but you can't smell it. This has Nissan, N-I-S-S-A-N, Nissan calipers and brakes, which is a lot of Japanese bikes use them. They are radially mounted, just like the Tiger. The front brakes are excellent. The back brake, the jury's still out on it. It just seems a little, it just doesn't seem as powerful as the front. And you got to put a little more effort into it to get it to stop. Now, a couple things I think why that is number one, they're new brakes, and they probably aren't bedded in very well right now. The second thing is, I think maybe Honda designed it that way, because you can't manipulate the clutch in slow speed maneuvers. So I think that they probably want they don't want that brake to be as touchy. Because they want it to, because you have to really manipulate it. Let me concentrate a little bit here. Wilkes Coffee. I think I'm going to try Wilkes Coffee. So I think that's why Honda did that. I think they knew you would have to manipulate the rear brake in slow speed maneuvers, so they figured, hey, you know what, maybe that's the way we should make the brake. So anyway, I'm going to grab some coffee. Maybe put my handbrake on. So yeah, let's get a coffee, and looks like they're having Fan Fest in the Burrows race weekend. Oh, they have a race here this weekend, Wilkesboro, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'll probably come back on later if I got something else to say. But, yeah. So far, so good. Y'all take care. This is Stoney, and we'll talk to you later.